Everyone has an opportunity to invest, just they need the knowledge on how. The most important thing is to remember that there is inflation and there is devaluation of the currency. Spend too much of your money on the things like this.
Okay, so welcome once again, my good viewers, to another episode of Rough Brands. With me here is a friend, a good financial advisor. I'm sure many of you aim to, or you desire to travel to Europe one day. I want her to educate you once you enter Europe. How do you keep your finances in check? But just before that, I would like to introduce her, or you introduce yourself. Take that with the best.
Okay, I will introduce myself.
Great.
My name is Valentina.
Great.
I'm from Ukraine. We met just really randomly. We were going to the airport, both of us, in Brussels one day.
Yeah.
And I asked him to be one another person who comes with me in the taxi because it was super expensive.
Yeah.
Then we started talking and we kept the contact since then.
Great.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, and she's a very nice person, you know. Sometimes, especially in Europe.
Sometimes?
Yeah, no, not you. Not okay. You are a nice person sometimes, but you are nice. I just wanted to add a sentence. No, but you are nice. But sometimes in Europe, it's very difficult approaching people, talking to people. You know, the individualism is quite high. So I was quite surprised that she approached me to talk to me and all that. And that's how we kept in touch. And she has been a very nice person, you know. She didn't just leave. She had very great ideas, very brilliant. Anyway, nice meeting you, and nice meeting you the second time. And
for
thanks
the video
for
this
keeping
time.
in touch. Yeah.
Yes.
Great. So, as I introduced earlier, I just want a small education on how people, especially immigrants who are coming to Europe, how they manage their finances. So the first thing I want to ask is, in Europe, who can invest?
Who can invest?
Yeah.
Actually, everyone. It's not that hard. Everyone has an opportunity to invest, just they need the knowledge on how to do it.
Okay.
The most important thing that I would say, especially for immigrants, that's the people who come from their home country.
Okay.
Why they come to Europe? Because they need another work with a better salary. And most of the times they just send this money back home, right? So their family have something to live on.
The conversion rate is always high.
The conversion rate is extremely high.
Yeah.
There are some people who send it by cash.
Yeah.
I will not say which nation. I
mean, on the safer side, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. And still, the most important thing is to remember that there is inflation and there is devaluation of the currency. Inflation, I think most of you already know what it is. It's when your money starts depreciating, right? For example, today the bread costs, I don't know, 2 euros, and in 2-3 years it costs 5 euros. Okay. So it's cost more than before. Devaluation, it's when you compare the currency exchange and your currency from your home country becomes more and more than $1, for example. For example, right now, which currency do you have, by the way?
Ghana cedis.
Ghana
cedis.
Yeah. And how much it is for $1?
At the moment, it's 16.6 to €1.
Oh, it's better than in Ukraine.
Why are you saying that? Why? What is happening in Ukraine?
It's 40 to €1. 40 something plus than €1.
Well, I think our currency is strong. You know,
I need to move.
Yeah, you better be in Ghana one day, I guess.
For sure. And devaluation, it's when €1 for your country becomes not 16 but 20.
Okay.
So you need to pay more for another country's currency than it was before.
Okay.
And in this manner, at this point, when you send your money home, it is not enough for you to build wealth.
Okay, so you would advise that We don't send the money home?
I advise that a part of the money that you send, you better start investing.
In euro instead of your country?
In euro or any other country. Investing, there are many type of assets that can actually grow your money. So for example, in euro or any other country, investing, there are many type of assets that can actually grow your money. So for example, also in your country, you can invest this money in the real estate, right? In time, the real estate will become more expensive and you can sell it for more money than you have before, right? You can also invest in bank deposits, for example, right? You will have an interest rate paid back. You can invest it in Europe, you can invest in stock market. Not only in Europe. You can invest in US, in Asia, in many ways.
But most times, especially immigrants who have just entered Europe, they are yet to get exposed to the system. They don't really know where to focus, where to keep their money, where to, where would you advise? Because I know in Europe you can't just invest in any big thing, real estate and other things, unless you have a large amount of money. An immigrant just came. They are now managing their finances. I mean, they've now gotten some job, trying to put things together. They have to pay for rent. They have to pay for utilities, other things. And maybe it's left with only 50 euro or 100 euro at the end of the month. Where do they keep it? Like, how would they invest it? Where should they invest? Where should they keep such monies? As tiny as it is, should they send it home, or you think they should invest in Europe?
Of course, there is a need for them also to send money home for their families. The point is not to send everything, but a part of it to invest. Either to invest in your home country, but to accumulate them for future your real estate, or to invest them in deposits in your banks, if it's secure. Depends on the country. Either to start investing in stock market. Stock market is a quite interesting way to grow your money. What it is, I will explain it shortly.
Great.
Imagine you have a company, and you have a company that you want to develop, right? You need more money to start developing your company. What do? You divide it into pieces. For example, your company is worth $50,000, for example. If we talk about Apple or Microsoft, of course, the market capitalization is quite bigger. Then they divide a part of this company. For example, half you let for the company, and half you divide into small pieces, as dividing an apple, for example. And then this apple you send to the piece of this apple you send to other people, right? You have the money for it, and you start investing in your company to develop it. So basically, you don't have anymore your whole company. You have half of the company, which you are growing. That's how the stock market in general works. You can invest in US companies, as I said, in Apple, Microsoft, any other that Starbucks at the end of the day. And by investing, you also have some dividends. Dividends is just the same thing as interest rates at the bank. The same thing, in less money. It depends also on the banks in your country. You always have to check it before doing your first step. But thankfully, the most important thing is that you are always disciplined to pay yourself first. I understand that many immigrants who come to Europe and everything is already super hard for them. The situation is unstable. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. Yes, of course. In this situation, first of all, you just settle down. You understand where you are. You find a job. Once it becomes more stable, and I mean not years, but months, that you understand that now I can send money home, or I can start doing something with them to grow. Then you start investing. It's always better to learn about it before doing a step. In any case, I'm always here to help, just to help. It's not a problem at all. In case anyone is interested.
But how much do we need for the stock market?
For the stock market, you can start from zero. You can start with very small amount of money.
As small as
$5. Yes.
Oh, okay.
You can.
Okay. So those who may want to do it, immigrants who may want to do it, how should they start it? I mean, where should they go? Is there any site?
Everything is online.
Okay.
Everything. You just need to find a broker. Broker is an organization who helps you to buy the stock. The shares of the companies. It's also online. You find a broker. I can even send
some links.
Yeah, some links, and here you are. You already have it.
Okay.
You open your investment account, and then you put money on this investment account.
Okay.
And once, for example, you have money, you really want to buy a share of Apple. Once it's accumulated on that account, you just buy it. The discipline is always to put it on the account. So
you may have to add up. You keep adding up the money.
Yes, you keep.
Oh, okay.
It's the same as you do in bank.
In banks, okay.
The same, but a little bit more secure.
In stock.
Yes, it's more secure in stock.
Stock is more secure.
It depends on the country. If it's Switzerland, Switzerland is the most secure of banks in the world.
Oh, yeah.
So you can invest in Switzerland, but you need to understand that you need some documents for this, I suppose. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna check out.
Okay. So we've asked about who, the how. So when should we do the investment? When do you think it's more appropriate? Do you have certain times or certain moments you think is best for investment?
There is it's a very interesting topic because when the crisis comes, for example, as I don't know, war in Ukraine, as war in other countries, when I'm not sure, the financial crisis is in 2008, people start behaving by the fear.
Okay.
So what actually people most of the times do, we now talk about the psychology of money, it's to keep it near them,
Okay.
This is the most dangerous thing to do ever.
Don't keep money near you?
Yes.
Okay.
First of all, of inflation. Second of all, most probably you will lose it because of the situations. It can become anything, the inflation, devaluation. If you have cash, someone steals it. If many things can happen.
Okay.
But if you have it in the assets that are at least stable and give you some interest, even small interest, it's always better than to have just cash.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Great.
So when answering the question when, the answer is always. Always to put your money on the investment account. Now, when to buy a share of the company, it's better, of course, to analyze the company first.
Okay.
You don't need much of analysis when you're new to this subject and you don't understand at all what it is, why do I do this, and how to do this. You just start to watch some videos on YouTube. Believe me, only this small information will help you understand how it will work and what is better for you. Always. Keep developing yourself. That's the most important thing also in life.
Okay. That's nice. So stock and you just said psychology of money. People wanted to be near them all the time. I'm sure sometimes they fear. Okay, you just said they fear they will lose it.
Yes.
But is it not more risky on stock? Because a lot of people, the perception is on stock market, it can be risky. Your money, your principal can. Is it not more risky?
It happens.
Okay.
It happens everywhere. So basically, you have the risk everywhere in your life. Doesn't matter where you go. If you put it in the bank account, the bank can collapse or get broke, and you will not see your money at all anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe not. If you're in Switzerland, everything would be fine for the whole your life. There are risks in anything, in real estate too. If it's not the good location, if it's not for living, if it's not, many depends. But stock market, if you take by statistics, it was always growing. doesn't matter on the time of crisis. If the crisis comes, of course, most probably, for example, as now we had a big fight between Zelensky and Trump. And this actually had an influence on stock market too.
Yeah.
Of course, you may not imagine why. How does it involve stock market? How does it involve any companies in US that Zelensky had the fight with Trump? But it happens, and they get down. So the price of the stock that you bought can get down, and yes, you can lose a part of your money there.
Okay.
This is also psychology of money. Just at this point, you have to buy more.
Huh.
At this point,
you have to buy more of the stock.
You have to buy more. I will explain why.
Okay.
Because if you invest in the companies that are stable and they are growing for the past 10 years, for example, if they're always growing in revenues, they're always developing, most probably this company will have the big opportunity to grow more and more and more for years.
Okay.
So if the price of the company gets down, this is the time to buy, because after it will grow for sure.
Oh.
So if you have invested, for example, $50 right now, and now the price of the stock that you bought is $30, if you buy more, then you will have the $20 more on it.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So here's the psychology, just not to get mind blown by the fear that you have. It's always that you have to understand what's going on, why it's going on. Don't invest in the companies that you don't know. Don't invest in something that someone told you to do.
Okay.
Always analyze yourself. It's better like this. Always analyze yourself and get the decision yourself.
Great. Well, since it's your office, I wouldn't want you to exhaust all the information. Maybe people will want to consult you for more ideas on how to invest their money as immigrants, because most time when you come, there is that desire to quickly send money home, to quickly, that pressure. I think it's all part of the psychology. That pressure to go build home, accumulate home, and other things. It becomes a big problem when a lot of people, when they come across challenges, especially when they do the accommodations and other things, and they have to sleep outside and all that. It's a big struggle across Europe. And I just hope that people get to know this information. People get to know more about stock. I think stock market has not really been, financial education has not really been detailed for a lot of people, especially immigrants. Yeah, because of this, as I said, this desire, a lot of bills to pay, a lot of money to be sent to other things. But I think this is a good information for them. And that's nice. Well, she could have just discussed more on crypto, on, other sorts of investment you could do. Because most time in Europe, as in how much you pay in a developing, how much you invest in a developing country, and what you can invest in a developing country may not be the same as in Europe or in developed world. And that is why most times this kind of financial advice is good, because if you are bringing the same mindset as back home, how you want to invest it and how you want to invest in Europe, it will be very, very difficult. That's why many people say it's very difficult to be a billionaire in Europe. Because where to invest to quickly get your money raised is quite difficult. Well, thank you so much. You may want to add up before we go.
Yes, the only add up that I could say is that if it's hard for you to start investing, just keep tracking your budget then. Do not spend too much of your money on the things like this.
This coffee is food.
Yes, but when you calculate, if you spend $5 per coffee per day, for example.
Just $5? It's $350.
$350. I have a calculation of 5, so I will give you a calculation of 5.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, for the day.
If you spend $5 per day, okay, doesn't matter what, not coffee. Doesn't matter what. Something that doesn't give you much pleasure or is not really meant to be worth to buy.
Okay.
Then if you invest this money and you have 8% return, in 10 years you will have saved $30,000.
Oh.
just in 10 years.
A decade.
Yes.
Yeah, that 5
And
years.
just 5 euros, if you invest your 5 euros every day and you have 8% return in 10 years, you can already buy yourself an apartment. I mean, depends on the country. Of course.
Of course.
Not in Brussels.
Of course. Okay then. Yeah.
So
I think this is very educative. Yeah.
it's always about just discipline and your goals.
Okay.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Okay, so thank you so much, Valentina.
Most
but
welcome.
before you go, what do you have for the world? I heard you mention, well, I didn't want to bring it up, but I just heard you mention Ukraine, Putin. And you said the war is between Putin and Zelensky. Why is it between Ukraine and Russia? Right?
Yes,
I mean,
the war is
against
between
country.
Ukraine and Russia, yes.
Yeah. How is the feeling like?
Who?
Yeah. Anyway, these kind of topics are more sensitive, especially when a lot of people are engaged in this. But we just hope and pray that eventually there will be peace. That's what I'm hoping. Hopefully. There will be. Yeah. Hopefully. And I'll visit her one day in Ukraine. Right?
Oh, you sure will.
Of course.
Of course. Yes. Of course.
Okay, so thank you so much for this video. I hope that a lot of people get this information and it's become useful to a lot of immigrants who are out there. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
and nice meeting you once again.
Me too.
How would I say that in Ukraine? How would I say that in Ukraine? That is Rush. No, okay, you speak Ukraine. How would I say thank you in Ukraine?
Дякую.
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 Дякую. So, дякую for coming.
Будь ласка.
Будь ласка! You're welcome.